Well, it is time for another edition of the Neishloss podcast here. I'm your host, Mike Asti, and as we continue to not only teach you about Medicare and what these carriers are doing, but also kind of try to help agents out there, whether it be the agent or the client, we also want to maybe provide some entertainment here in the midst of everything going on in the world. So that's kind of the point of this. But once again, I'm your host, Mike Asti, and this is an edition of the Neishloss podcast that will focus on Anthem. So that's a carrier we've not dealt with yet. We will focus on Anthem for this one, and join me to make this happen and to be able to talk Anthem better than I think anybody else out there. So we do have the czar of Anthem, I will say, Carmen Romack, who joins us. And Carmen, first off, what's your official title?
Hi, Mike. Well, thank you, number one, for joining me or inviting me to join. I appreciate it. My title is National Broker Account Manager, and I am, aligned with the Medicare side of the house. So I actually manage the Neishloss account. They are an FMO partner with Anthem, and I'm happy to say one of the accounts that I manage.
Yeah, we do get your blast emails. Like I got your email just the other day, actually. So yes.
Oh, good.
I did see that. Yeah. So I wanted to get your official title out there. Forgot to ask you beforehand, but okay, broker account manager there with Anthem, Carmen Romack, and we're gonna get started here and dive right in. And Anthem is one of those that it has the brand name. It's known out there and been around a while, and has a significant market share, especially in states like Indiana, Kentucky, and Ohio, which are coincidentally states and regions that I personally deal with here in my marketing role with Neishloss and Fleming. And what would you say is about Anthem that you feel drives agents' loyalty? Because Anthem is one of those carriers that has a lot of loyalty in terms of its agents, in terms of its clients. People, when they start a relationship with Anthem, they usually stick with Anthem. You don't have tons of people trying to drop off the face of the world. So why do you think that is?
I think there's a few reasons that factor into that. Number one, having nothing to do with Medicare, but from a commercial standpoint, Anthem is one of the largest commercial carriers. So there's, a natural transition from, when you have employer groups that have agent employees, they move into the Medicare space and they're already familiar with Anthem. But directly to answer your question, I think longevity in the market. You had indicated that we've been there for a long time, and we really have been, years and years in this place, in this market space. We haven't come and gone, like maybe some of the smaller carriers, that you see. We do have the Blue brand, and that certainly is something to brag about. That Blue brand goes back years, and it just sort of has that feeling of loyalty. I mean, people look for that. So that goes a long way in kind of like that name recognition factor. But beyond that, I'd say that, something else that we have going for us, there's a shift in the market with some of our carrier, competitors where they're pulling back on local support, at the state level with agents directly. We're actually increasing the level of local support. So we have regional sales managers in all of our states, and there's always more than one. There's more than two. Typically, we have at least three. And in the three states you mentioned in particular, Indiana, Ohio, and Kentucky, we have 3 regional sales managers in each of those states to engage locally with agents who need their help and support. So I think that adds a lot of value. Some of the things that they do in the market would be they offer $0 CE classes throughout the year. So agents can come meet them, get the CE credits that we all need, pay nothing for it. I think that's a really strong value add.
That's a big thing. That kind of
it's an added
annoyance that goes on every year, every couple of years, and that's definitely a nice boost. Yeah.
And I think we're one of the few carriers that offer that, so that differentiates us in the marketplace. Our regional sales managers do a lot with co-op marketing. So as they engage with agents locally who want to either move in, start selling Anthem, they've never done it before, or they want to grow their book of business, our regional sales managers are there to help them identify opportunities, look at different counties, different products. They have a marketing budget to help fund some of those, lead generation opportunities, target leads, what have you. It's something that they work on together, and they'll help agents actually strategize a plan. So, those things I think go a long way. Beyond that, what our agents do out in the field, we have a strong provider network. We've got key hospitals in our network. I would say in the 3 states we're focusing on today, we've got the key networks. I think there are few, if any, exceptions to that. So that goes a long way. I mean, you can have the best product out there, but if you don't have the hospitals and the doctors and network, it doesn't really mean a whole lot. So yeah, we've got that.
It all has to work hand in hand. Yeah, it all has to work hand in hand. And I also think it's big, because I know this when we talk to agents, especially, that we deal with agents all across the country as well, and they like speaking with us. But when we actually go down in these areas and we actually meet them face to face, it does add to that relationship. And having somebody locally that can help them and they can always connect with potentially face to face is also a nice added boost and added comfort, especially for such a nationally known carrier, where other carriers, maybe to the level of brand name of Anthem, maybe don't do that as much or put as much of an emphasis. So it's nice. It almost comes across like a mom and pop feel with a big company.
You got it. That's a great way of saying it, Mike. Yeah. And that's what we're going for. We are a national carrier.
Feel free to take the slogan. I'll offer that free of charge.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. I like it. Okay, let me write that down. No. I liked it.
Yeah. So I think that's a nice addition that Anthem's doing for sure. Now, as you mentioned, it's not just about relationships, and that's a big deal, but you need to have the product to combine the relationship and make that a happy marriage. If you're just selling relationship and everyone's a nice person and knows a lot, but the product's not there, not as many people are going to want to work with you, and vice versa. But Anthem has a vast portfolio of products for agents to have in their portfolio for sure. And if you had to pick, say, 2 plans in particular, at least 2 that have so far performed at a high level here early in 2020, that you think are going to have success as we keep moving here, especially towards AEP, what would those be?
Okay, so I'm going to have to tell you, I cannot choose just 1 or 2. I'm going to say that up front.
Everybody says that, so I can't be mad at it.
You knew that was coming. Yeah. But, I'm going to take this moment real quickly to just sort of highlight the products that we do have, not to go into detail, but just so everybody who listens to this knows, the portfolio. But I will tell you what I think maybe is one of the hottest products. So bear with me for a second.
It's a nice compromise. Okay.
You like that? Okay. So I would say, first off, in the 3 states we're talking about, again, because, Anthem expands beyond that. So we're talking about Ohio, Indiana, and Kentucky. In those states, we offer HMO products, PPO, regional PPO. Those are the only 3 states that we offer a regional PPO plan in. And I think it's just us and one other carrier that continues to offer it. So just know that we do have that. MedSup, PDP, and I am going to take a moment to talk about our PDP plan, because prior to the 4th quarter of 2019, Anthem didn't really participate per se in the PDP standalone market. We launched our Ingenio RX pharmacy benefit management company the last quarter of 2019, and it's fantastic. We exceeded all sales goals that we had set for ourselves. It is a fantastic product. We are very competitive in that market space, and it pairs very well, obviously, with MedSup products, and we are very competitive in that market space as well. So I would say, if you have agents out there listening who haven't really given us a look for MedSup, it's time to do that and to look at that PDP product as well. Having said all that, and we have all those things there, I think probably our most competitive product opportunity would be our dual SNP product, for several reasons. It's competitive. We're very competitive, against other carriers in the markets that we're talking about. We have some fantastic embedded mandatory supplemental benefits that go a long way at adding value, to the client, to the members. Some of the things that our decent products include, they all have SilverSneakers with them. And, everybody can laugh about, oh, people don't use it. Well, some do, but no matter what, they like to have it. So we've got it. We've got our essential extras, and those are benefits that are based on the social determinants of health. And Anthem really was the first carrier to come to market and build products that was, kind of directed at meeting those needs. Some of the things that we offer would be companion, like a companion service dog, pest control, food service, transportation. I mean, we went from 6 of those benefits in 2019 to 10 for our 2020 plan. So it's growing. And that certainly goes a long way to help members. It's kind of based on what's most important to the member. What one person thinks is most important to them is going to be completely different than what their neighbor thinks.
Sure.
So we offer a wide variety to meet, member needs and what we think are most important overall. I think that's probably, where I'd kind of pause there and see if you had any questions. I do think the dual SNP plan is probably the most competitive, and especially in this market climate right now too. Every quarter they can make a switch, so it's a product that agents can continue to sell outside of AEP or turning 65, which is another good reason.
And dual SNP is one of those areas of the Medicare industry that some agents tackle and then do very well in, and some agents maybe have some hesitation and aren't as familiar, and it does require a lot of education. Do you have any advice in terms of agents who are maybe on the fence? Because you guys are offering a lot with dual SNP, and they may think that a carrier like Anthem wouldn't be as involved. I've noticed a lot of those major tier carriers, yourself included, are getting more involved in that space than, say, would even have been a year or two ago.
Right. I'd say that the quick or high level answer to that, 2 things. Number one, we have a lot of education and training. All you need to do is go onto our website, and I wish I had written it down right here to give you that link to it. I can give you that later, Mike. But we offer, training in every state. Typically our regional sales managers are the ones that lead that. And there are trainings specifically to dual SNP and how to market in that space. But if you're more comfortable with one-on-one, I would go right back again to those regional sales managers. Their job is to help develop agents and to help them succeed and to do well. That's what they do. That's what they want to do. So go to them.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're very good at what they do. And that's definitely been a great outlet for agents to this point. Now, moving right along here, agents are seemingly, from what we've found out, are excited about the great ancillary benefits of Anthem's 2020 plans. And again, ancillary benefits is a big deal, especially when you get to major carriers, kind of dispersing which one to choose from. A lot of times that can be about ancillary benefits. So if you had to pick one, or if there's more than one, you certainly can do that. But what are some attractive benefits you feel like, some ancillary benefits that Anthem is now offering to its clients?
And thank you for saying that I could pick more than one, because you knew I couldn't stick to just one. So thank you for that.
I learned my lesson already.
I agree. I think the ancillary benefits go a long way in differentiating one carrier's product from another, because in some respects, a lot of it has become homogenized. So where you can make your difference is with those mandatory supplemental benefits.
There you go.
Thank you. So some of them that I would want to highlight that I think make a difference to our members, the things that through the years I've heard resonate and maybe help close a sale, which is, very important. So we offer a $3,000 hearing aid benefit on most all of our plans, not just dual SNP, but HMOs, PPOs. I mean, obviously, each state, you've got to look at the plan and know all the details, but that's a really big one. Other benefits that I think are really important are personal emergency response system. Our vendor is Critical Signal Technologies, and what we offer is a little bit different than what you're going to see with our competitors. Ours is GPS enabled. So you can actually, as a member, you can be outside of your home, and let's just say you have somebody who might have some memory loss issues. They go for a walk and they get lost. They can utilize that service, to tap into, the folks that they call into to help them get back home. It's not just, that old commercial, you remember, help, I fallen, I can't get up. There's so much more to it than that. And what's great about it is all you need to do is be on our plan. You don't have to have a doctor order to get that. If you're on our plan and we offer it, all you need to do is call into customer service. We will install it. We cover the monthly fee. It's free of charge, free of charge meaning $0 cost to the member. So it's a great, I think my own mother, she's perfectly fine, but she took a fall when she was in Florida, and she lay there for about an hour before somebody found her. That would have been a perfect, reason to have had that. In fact, I'm encouraging her to get it. So just for things like that.
Yeah.
So, some of the others, I've already mentioned SilverSneakers, that it's got such a great brand. behind it. SilverSneakers is SilverSneakers, and we offer it in all of our products. So
it seems like everyone's heard of SilverSneakers,
yeah.
especially in the Medicare community.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And we still offer, some of the others have moved away from SilverSneakers, and they've gotten, they've maybe built their own proprietary, gym membership, which is great. But I do believe that SilverSneakers continues to have that brand recognition, and a lot of members just really want to have it. And one thing about that, I'll just kind of do a plug for them real quickly. It's not just going to the gym. There's so many other options that they offer you. So if you're someone who's more homebound or don't like going to a gym, they can send you an at-home kit that includes like a jump rope, a pedometer, probably some other things that I'm not thinking about right now. They have, opportunity to go out to the park, a local park, and have group fitness courses. So there's so much more to SilverSneakers than what you think, right off the top of your head. So it's a great benefit.
And especially with how the world is right now with COVID-19 and people not really maybe wanting to even venture to a gym after the stay-at-home orders are over, especially with the immune systems being not as strong, maybe as younger generations out there, that you can utilize this service from home. So separate from whether you want to go to the gym or in general or not, maybe it's best you don't go to the gym for some people so they can still utilize it.
I know ours locally, they're all closed, so you can't even do it if you wanted to. So right now, would be a great time for a member to contact SilverSneakers and say, send me that at home kit so I can continue, to stay in shape. I think the last one I would mention is our partnership with Walmart for over-the-counter drugs. That has been a big deal. We've had that in our plans for a couple of years now. And that one just goes a long way. Again, we talk about brand, everybody knows Walmart, and people shop at Walmart. And with this partnership, it's more than just being able to order online. There's so many different shopping mechanisms, meaning under normal conditions, not right now, shopping in the store, you can utilize the benefit, real time when you're shopping in the store. You can call in, you can go online and place an order. I mean, the shopping experience is a good one, and the benefit is really rich. So I'm not going to quote, each state, but if, you're looking at it, look very closely at that OTC because it's a very rich benefit.
And Walmart, again, that's another one of those places that it's going to make it easy for people to use these plans because there's a Walmart seemingly everywhere. There's, every facet of the country, no matter how big or small, somewhere or another. Is
there any state out there that doesn't have a Walmart? I have no idea. Do you think there is?
I would imagine. I mean, I don't know. I mean, sometimes it can be spread out, but there's definitely going to be one somewhere. So I feel like if you don't think there's a Walmart near you, I'd recommend throwing up your GPS because there probably is.
Right.
That makes it easy to be able to utilize a lot of the benefits when you have all those major brand names. That it also will make clients comfortable and will help agents in conveying this because I think that's a big deal that agents maybe don't have all day to spend with a client. A client may not want to hear what they have to say for 2 to 3 hours. They may not be able to get everything they want to say out there. So they have to hit on the major points that you've talked about here on the show. But also when they have a brand name attached to them and a brand name attached to all the plans that Anthem's dealing with, that makes it easier where they don't have to spend time telling you this carrier exists and they're not started in someone's basement and they're going to be around and they're attached to this and this umbrella company that they also may not have heard of. That's not going to be the case with Anthem and a lot of the plans they're dealing with and a lot of the benefits that are associated in those companies. So that's a major benefit that makes your job easier, makes your rep's jobs easier, makes the agent's job easier, and then makes more comfort for the clients. So the world keeps going around here, and serving the clients is the end goal in the first place, and making them comfortable is part of serving them. However,
let me make one comment as you were saying that. Something that came to mind, one of our objectives as we, design plans every year is sustainability. So we come up, the people much smarter than me come up with these plans. And, the whole idea behind it, though, is to ensure that they fit the market and that they're not going to be here one year and gone the next.
Right.
And we've done a really good job of that. I mean, if anything, we have rolled out maybe some newer plans. I'm thinking in Ohio, for example, a new HMO, but we didn't take away the old one. So we don't want that scenario for our agents. We don't want them to move books of business every year. We want them to have sustainable strong products that they can market. And we've done a good job of doing that. So.
Yeah, I definitely agree. And I think that's definitely a big deal as well. Now, as we round things out here, and not to go towards the negative, because we've talked a lot of great things about what Anthem's doing so far, but there's always going to be a downside or a negative side that's going to be brought up, whether it be by the client or whether it be by agents who are looking to maybe deal with Anthem but are concerned. There's always going to be challenges, no matter what. People, even if there's not challenges, people are going to create them just to do it. So in your marketplace, and whether it be in those states or even in general, you could speak on, what do you think are maybe some challenges that agents have conveyed to you or your reps have conveyed to you that maybe exist with these Anthem plans that they may have to get over? Because a lot of the people listening to this show are agents. A lot of the time they're newer agents, but even sometimes they're clients or family of clients that are listening. But there's going to be negatives out there that they're thinking of. So what are some of those negatives? What are some of those challenges? And what advice maybe would you offer to try to get over those?
Well, I think based on the current events in our world happening right now, the first thing that comes to mind is the impact of COVID-19, social distancing, and how do agents continue to market and serve their book of business under the current conditions. That's something unprecedented. And you're going to have to edit some of this, Mike.
I could, but I also think we're fine. We're
all right.
Keeping it fun.
I really can't talk, but anyway, I think that is, a different dynamic than what agents have had to really contend with. So some are technologically advanced, and this is, nothing. Others, not so much. And so this has really kind of pushed them into a situation where they've had to react very quickly, and they're maybe not comfortable with it.
Right.
So, I think, and I really would say that I think folks who market in that dual SNP space are going to be hit a little bit harder just by virtue of the clients that they work with. Those clients are not always at a stable address. You can't always pick up the phone and get a hold of them.
Right.
A lot of the leads that they do are from grassroots events, being out in that community, which they cannot do right now. So I think that the challenge everyone's facing is embracing technology and utilizing that like you've never done before to continue to earn a living and to work your book of business and to sell and close. So, Anthem has some technology that helps agents with that. I know that Neishloss and a lot of other FMOs have technology as well.
Right.
So together, you've got the support. If you're an independent agent, Anthem on our own, we have technology. If you happen to be with Neishloss, they offer a whole lot of technology as well. Either way, we've got you covered. So we have InProducer, which is our electronic application submission platform.
Okay.
It's, you can use it on an iPad, a laptop, what have you. Within that, it's embedded a dual SNP eligibility verification component. So they can actually verify right then and there if this particular member is eligible in that state. So that's nice. You don't go through the steps and then find out later, oh, no, you don't need
that is big.
Yeah. Right. So that's been really helpful. And then honestly, within the last couple of weeks, so it's really new, we've launched some technology called TalkDes.
Okay.
And with that, it provides our agents the ability to capture an electronic scope of appointments, which we didn't have previously. And we can also it allows them to get a voice signature for application submission. So this is a really big deal. Again, I go back to, if you're an independent agent, this is critical for you. If you're with an FMO, you probably have some technology that you're already used to using, which is great. But either way, you know that you've got a couple of options there. And we have a lot of training going on right now for TalkDes. So I'll just say that off to the side. If anybody's interested, they can go to the website and sign up for that or talk to their regional sales manager. So beyond that, my tips would be, as an agent, I would say right now is a really good time to reach out to your book of business. Check in on your members, make sure that they're doing okay. Maybe drop off some toilet paper, Lysol, things that are helpful right now and hard to get a hold of. Let's be honest, I can't find hand sanitizer to save my life.
Yeah.
So and don't be afraid to ask for a referral. Typically what I'm finding the agents that I interact with, on a pretty regular basis, they're really embedded in those communities. The folks know them, trust them, really, really like them, are happy to refer their friends. So, again, don't hesitate to ask for that referral. I guess that's my advice, Mike. Herman's advice.
I think that's good advice. Yeah, I think that's good advice, and that kind of does segue into, you mentioned everything Anthem has to offer, especially technologically speaking, because of what's going on right now. And I think what also is big, because even when these stay-at-home orders are lifted, and maybe when somebody's listening to this, because it's always going to be on our website, the stay-at-home order would have already been lifted. However, there are still going to be people who are concerned, whether it be someone they live with or their own immune system, either having been compromised from some other illness or just on their age or whatever reason, they might be concerned about running their business the same way they were before, especially in the Muslim market, which might be just that necessary evil if you're going to be in that market, because they need the interperson conversation, but there is still ways to get around it now. So they might want to utilize a lot of this technology, and it also might be best to get familiar with it just for your own well-being and just for comfort moving forward, because this situation's going to change the world in general, even after these orders are over. And that's, the way of the future anyway, is technology and is social media and the internet. And that's part of why we're doing this podcast, is part of that endeavor. So
perfect. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's all part of the way of the future anyway. What I will say about us in terms of, what we offer technologically speaking, we have something called MedicareCenter.com, which is an online enrollment platform. So Medicare Center will allow you to do basically everything you could do on Medicare.gov, a lot of the carrier sites. You can store people's profile there. You can actually enroll them right there. You can do doctor lookups, pharmacy lookups. It's designed for most MedAdvantage and PDP carriers, and then that's a great enrollment tool for people as well. And you just click on a carrier, click on a plan, email it to them. And even if they don't have an email, which maybe could be an issue in the dual SNP space or with maybe older clients, if they know somebody with an email and they're okay with it being sent there, you can send it there. And that's CMS regulated. So they definitely can use Medicare Center for online enrollments. And that definitely will be a great tool for agents to do work with us. In addition to that, we do have a lot at our disposal in general, and we work with a lot of agents that are involved with Anthem. We have a program called Snoozy. Kind of has a weird name, but it is a social media program basically, and it's run by a former agent who's now kind of doing this on the side and towards the end of his career. But he basically will help you maintain social media platforms, whether that be Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, Instagram, as well as a website. He can create these for you from the ground floor, or maintain them and post on them and kind of run them for you. Because a lot of agents, even if they understand it, it takes up a lot of time. I know that personally, my generation, but it takes up a lot of time. So if somebody else could do it for you, that would be a big benefit. And you still have the ability to post as well, but he'll kind of make sure there's always activity, which can generate online leads, increase digital footprint. And if you're not in the digital space at all, even with just a website or certainly on social media as well, you are missing out on online leads that exist that there's really no way to calculate how much you're missing out on. So that would be a way to make sure you're not missing out. We also do pride ourselves on service. There's always somebody available on the phone to deal with agents. We normally do travel to a lot of these places, even though we work across the country when we're allowed to do so. And via email, anything. We always have somebody willing to help somebody, even if it's off hours. So that's a big deal as well. And we do have, not lastly, but something that we've always had, is an in-house graphic designer. So somebody can help you make both postcards, business cards, flyers, things like that. We've even had an agent actually in Kentucky, won't mention his name, make a billboard. So our in-house graphic designer has helped that gentleman make a billboard. So that certainly can even be something that we do. So we have a lot at our disposal. We do work with a lot of agents that do deal with Anthem. I know I do get your email, so I know we're in constant communication about the best way to serve our agents, especially in terms of Anthem and everything that Anthem offers. So I think agents here who listen to this should certainly be better off in their business, and certainly dealing with Anthem. And any agents who aren't currently dealing with Anthem, certainly, I don't know what they're doing, they stop missing out. Definitely jump on board, because again, we reiterate at the beginning, it's people may have their own personal opinions or personal preferences, and sometimes there's politics involved with so many of these carriers, but the end goal should be about serving the client. So
Mhm.
it's not about your opinion. It's about what the client wants, what the client feels comfortable with, and what the client needs. So when you have benefits like
Right.
Anthem offers and just really anything in general, you don't want to miss out on it, because then you're not serving the client the best you can.
Right.
So that I
Right.
think is a major thing too. And Carmen, we definitely appreciate the time. I'm not going to keep you much longer, but what I will allow you to do here, I will allow you to get kind of the last word. Anything else out there that we missed that you want to touch on? Because we'll definitely do this again. We can definitely do this again
Sure.
sometime. But any
Well,
other final words of wisdom you have for us?
I would just say, it's not for these 3 states, but I want to make sure people who listen to this understand that we do operate in other states under different brands. You may not know that it's Anthem. So we operate under the AmeriGroup brand in many states, including Texas and Tennessee, are probably the 2 biggest ones. The Empire Blue brand out on the East Coast, New York. And so maybe, Mike, the next time I might recommend one of my counterparts from one of the West or the East Coast sit with you and talk about, maybe unique factors in their markets. But I really appreciate the time. It's been fun, whether you edit my missteps or not, but it's been a good time.
Well, there's no major missteps. So I don't think there's anything. It might actually make, again, not only is this to inform, but we also want to entertain. So that
we're entertaining.
might add to the entertainment aspect that we're having fun doing this, so they're going to have fun listening. But yeah, we definitely are open to doing that, because this is going to be a full-on series. There's really no end in sight to doing these. And
Great.
there's already a bunch on the website and on our social channels. So we're definitely maybe even could have you back on sometime in the future to do this again, especially because the industry is always growing. Carriers are always growing. The plans are always growing. So as we get close to AP, things are going to change at that point, as well as we'll get busier, but things will change with the plans and the carriers. And we deal with the whole country. So we'll definitely branch out in that direction as well. So
Sounds
Carmen, again, we definitely appreciate the time. Carmen Romack, who is again leading the charge for Anthem, especially in Kentucky, Ohio, and Indiana, but Anthem, again, is all over the country and one of those major carriers. So, Carmen, we appreciate the time, and we'll have to do this again. And
I'd love to.
I appreciate it, and keep on staying safe out there.
You as well. Thanks, Mike.
No problem. All right, again, that was Carmen Romack with Anthem. I'm your host, Mike Asti, and this was another edition of the Neishloss podcast. Until we meet again.